up, everybody? How we all doing tonight?
Chilling like a villain. So, hey, we're going to jump right into things. So, last night, big UFC pay-per-view. So, I'll be honest. Let me see. When did I start catching it? Right around when the girls were fighting. The Brazilian chicks. That fight was pretty decent. Went pretty well. Viviane won. Then you had the Bo Nickel and Paul Craig fight, which was pretty good. Bo Nickel moving up in competition. Yeah, he's not bad.
I like Bo.
He just recently got in the game, so he's doing it pretty big for a guy who's only
He hasn't lost yet.
Yeah, like 7 pro fights, literally, just 7.
Yeah.
But for me, the big part was the co-main event and the main event. So the co-main, you had Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler. Hot damn, what a fucking fight. What a motherfucking fight. Though it went to decision, those were 5 awesome rounds to watch. I don't know if you guys caught it all. Did you guys catch it? Who watched the pay-per-view last night? I didn't even ask.
I saw the highlights.
I watched the last 2 fights.
I didn't get to watch.
I saw the main event and the co-main. Not shocked by the outcome, man. Charles Oliveira is a goat, man. Dude is a beast.
Dude, I
Shout out to
watched
Michael
that guy
Chandler
come
for
up.
making it through the fight.
Yeah. I mean, he fought a pretty
I don't
good
think the
fight.
main bout surprised anybody either.
No.
Nah, it shouldn't. I mean,
not even a little bit. No, you know what? I was a little bit shocked by how Stipe did look. Considering he's been away from the cage for a couple of years, like he looked slow. He looked out of place. He looked completely outmatched. And that's not just saying like John Jones is the GOAT, obviously, but it's like Stipe and him were like fighting 2 completely different fights. You know? And Jones was never going to let him get close. He was never going to let him get close enough to like do damage.
I am not surprised at how.
Hey, shout out to Stipe for making it to the third.
Stipe's 42 years old. Again, he's been out of the cage for 2 years.
When was the last time he fought?
2 years ago. It was 2 years
I thought
ago.
it was like, okay.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Sure.
And
he's never fought somebody like John Jones.
No. And, at 40, things aren't going to move the way you expect them to. Like, mentally, you still think you can do it, but your body has a hard time catching up. So I'm not surprised at the way you look. I'm not surprised at how easy John Jones made that look. I mean, I was actually surprised that Stipe got in a few shots.
Well, how old's Jones? He's not that old, but he's older, isn't he?
Yeah, he is older.
38, 39.
I was going to say, he's not quite up there, but...
Late 30s.
Yeah. He's up there.
Bro, that kick looked so
I don't know
gnarly.
if we have a clip of it. Do we have a clip?
Like, that hurt me. Watching him get kicked like that hurt me.
Here it is. Here it is right here.
Wow. They cut it. Like, skipped out.
See if you can run it one more time.
In the basket. In the basket.
Now, I will say this.
Golly.
That's the kind of kick that will make you shit yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not throw up at the same time, coming out of both ends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that's the kind of shot that'll make you, that'll make your body shut down completely. Be like, we're not doing this no more.
Well, I was going to say, you get low enough, that was like right to the kidneys, too. That's like a stiff heel to the kidneys. Spinning, so it's got a little bit of extra momentum.
I don't know if you heard, Marcus, but see, while I was watching the fight, you can actually hear Stipe's corner and a couple of the white fellas on the side.
Why they got to be white?
Unfortunately, that's what they were. As John Jones is just fucking elbowing the shit out of this dude, you can hear one of the guys on the side. He's like, Stipe, get out of the way. You don't deserve this, dude.
Bro,
no. What is it?
Every time he kicked him, it sounded like he broke a rib.
Dude,
Yeah.
I
I
felt those kicks.
It's picking hard.
And Jones showed his fighting IQ because he was going to his body early in the fight. Like initial hits was to his body. Like that.
So why do you think he's ducking this
He
guy?
set that up. See, you know what? I'm glad you said that, Rick. I don't even think Aspinall was worth the fight, to be fair.
Why not?
Well,
that's
look,
what he just did.
I know what John says about it, and I get what the consensus is.
Mm-hmm.
But when the reason I bring the question up is because I'm pretty sure that this is like a what they call work or a play.
Oh yeah, I
think the fight is going to happen. This is just their way of making it more wanted. 100%. Just like Tyson and Jake.
We'll certainly get to that piece. But the way John Jones whipped that ass into the end, said, "Hey, you know, you guys are gonna get what you want. I'm not going to retire." I knew he was gonna. There's no way he walks away and not fight. He has to fight Aspinall, and I think he wants to fight Pereira because that's a big fight too.
That's the fight. I'd rather see him fight Alex. Like Aspinall, I'm like, is Aspinall? Here's the thing, Aspinall warrant a fight like that?
At this point, we all know what the heavyweight division's been in the UFC forever. It's been lacking. Mm-hmm. So a guy like John Jones,
I don't know, that white boy would probably give John a game.
You know, maybe if Stipe was a little younger, that fight would go a little bit better for him, but he still wouldn't win. I mean,
no.
So real quick before you move on, though, Al, I gotta bring this up because I started doing a little more research on John for just personal references, and I have a lot of questions with all this steroid shit, yo.
Oh yeah, I mean, he tested positive both times he fought.
Both times, like this motherfucker has failed 17 drug tests.
Mm-hmm.
So he failed all of them.
So like he's constantly getting suspended for 8 months, 18 months, 12 months, etc. Like there's a lot more to him that I didn't know about until just this last week. And he doesn't look so much like fucking Superman to me right now is what I'm getting at, I guess.
Like we knew this, but here's the thing though. He is not the only one doing that.
No. Agreed. And I don't want to take away from the skill level either. But how do you feel about it though? Like, you know what I mean? Like for real, like
for me, as
Barry
far as
Bonds,
Mark as far as sports, like let all those guys take it. Because here's the thing, they need to entertain me.
Exactly. I'm with you from a fan's perspective. If you're willing to fucking
no, I mean that's the solid truth. And that's what everybody wants to say.
Fighters have to worry about fatigue. So yeah, you know, training is a big thing. I respect those guys who go deep into that kind of stuff, but it wouldn't hurt to have oxygen in the corner. This way we don't see the kind of sloppy shit you see when, you know, it's the fourth round, somebody's been throwing haymakers for 3 rounds straight, he's out of breath, he's tired. Like, you know, to segue, you know, into the Mike Tyson thing, the very first fight on that card, I had to rewatch it today because my wife told me there was an entertaining part in that fight. This dude is supposed to be the best that India has to offer. Now, this dude looks sloppy coming into the ring. He's fighting what was he, a YouTuber? Yeah, he's fighting a YouTuber or a TikToker.
Yeah, everybody on this card, there's controversy involved.
Yeah, like
WWE, cough.
This TikToker, if he actually had experience, would have probably beat this Indian dude up. But I don't know if we have a clip of what the Indian guy. Do we have a clip? All right, here's what this back. This is just unprofessional. So yeah, he essentially did what Adrian Broner did to Marcus Maidana.
That's reckless. That's reckless, bro.
Adrian Broner.
Fingerprint. You gotta throw the fingerprint in there.
This Indian fellow is out of breath the freaking whole time. He's supposed to be a professional boxer. Like, dude,
maybe they do it different in India.
They do a lot of things different out there, boy. But
what was dude's name from Street Fighter from India?
Also, Dawson was from India.
That motherfucker whooped your ass.
Yoga fire.
Yoga fire.
Yoga play.
Hey, I will say, man, steroid stuff aside, like John Jones is the GOAT, man. I don't have anything else to say. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. You really can't take anything away. And even Al said, like, you can't take anything away from his ability. His ability is still apparent. Now, all that aside, like we've been saying, I mean, look at back in the day, even these cats that have been nailing the ball out of the park, they got tested for steroids. It's like, at the end of the day, does it really change a whole lot? Yeah, they took some hormones and this and that. And I'm not advocating do what you want with your body. But, I mean, in a fight sense, in the octagon where everybody's kind of taking different stuff, is it really giving him that much of an edge? If it's not for potent,
it's banned substance.
Sometimes these guys are taking vitamins that they don't know have certain substances in them.
Okay.
Or so they say.
Hey,
like I said, banned substance is banned substance. If we had the same conversation when we were both 16, I don't think you'd be saying the same thing.
I say the same thing now. The wrestlers were allowed to use it. Sports entertainment. Al's hitting it on the head. We're talking about a competitive sport where there is like titles, accolades, everything else online. I expect it within the next two Summer Olympics that MMA is going to be in the Olympics eventually. Like, it's coming.
No, you're probably not wrong. And I mean, to have that and to play into that, I mean, if somebody's taking it and getting away with it, then you have the ability for corruption where somebody's not getting noticed for it and somebody is. I mean, yeah, you definitely need a level playing field, but I'm just talking about the physicality of it. Is it really giving them that much of an edge to where they wouldn't have won the fight if they hadn't taken it?
Yes, that's like cheating. Breaking the rules, cheating. There's a difference between bending the rules and breaking the rules, and that's breaking the rules. So that's where my question comes into play, as to say, if it was a basketball player, a football player, banned substance or not, automatic. Like they like even some of John's wins have been stripped, but you don't really hear that. You know what I mean? And so.
No.
That just goes into the play with me that the point, and this will be my point to it all. What you're seeing in MMA is pre-Montreal. No, let me rephrase. When the outsiders were facted from the WWF and went to the WCW, right? That's when the kayfabe, as they call it, right, occurred, where it became acknowledged to the public that this is not all the way real, that there's some scripting going on, that endings get manufactured. And we're seeing that in the fighting game. We're seeing it in professional sports across the board. And I think we're right there. We're almost there where we're going to see that MMA and boxing is kayfabe. Look, that event on Friday night was a perfect example. You talked about the Indian dude. It's supposed to win that night.
Well, and it's funny that after watching the Tyson and Paul fight, I will admit that it didn't go like the script had leaked online. There was a script. I'm sure some of us saw it going around online.
Precisely the way it was supposed to go.
It went pretty closely. Now, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, Al?
We'll get into the Tyson fight in a little bit, because a fight that's worth speaking of is the Serrano.
Absolutely.
And
the only point that I wanted to make is by looking at that script, you can see how people can, by acting, kind of go with what's going on. You wouldn't think so in a sport. You wouldn't think so that, Team A drives the ball down to the 60 and then it has a reversal. But looking at the script, if they're good enough, they could really adhere to a script.
Yeah.
Even in sports. Certainly.
But Netflix is supposed to do football live when? This year?
Christmas.
What went live this year? What was your question? I'm sorry, I was looking at the game.
Football on Netflix. Live with football live this year, right?
Christmas.
Christmas is the first games. Yeah, 3 games on Christmas.
What went down with this Jake Paul show?
That has to do with internet. It's an ISP, Al. It's not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but I know exactly where you're going. It's an ISP thing. So it wasn't Netflix. It wasn't the promoter. It was the internet providers. So depending on who your internet service provider was and how you were watching it determined if you got the blips. I'll give you an example. We couldn't get it to stay on a fucking TV in the goddamn house, but I kept it on my phone the entire time. So the difference was I had internet cable on all those TVs, and on my phone I had Verizon 5G, and it didn't buffer or fuck up a single time on the phone. So I literally watched the majority of it on my phone.
Okay.
Ew.
It's an ISP thing. Yeah, it's going to be an issue, especially if they're going to go with the Live Sports, which is their plan. They signed deals with the NFL, the WWE, UFC. So next year, a lot of the stuff that you see on ESPN Plus right now is going to be on Netflix in terms of UFC.
Yeah.
And
Will
obviously,
it become the Ocho?
The Ocho.
I keep hoping that we're getting closer to having a channel similar to that.
Now,
Sounds like a winter cotton.
How many of you actually watched this whole production?
I did.
One, there was no reason for Rosie to be there.
Rosie Perez, like all kinds of stuff. Like this should tell you exactly what to expect to come with live sports and sports entertainment. Look at the whole Mike Tyson and showing his ass. I hope Mike can put up one of those. The scene where Tyson's son comes into the locker room.
Not only does he show his ass, but he gives
we got a clip of it.
Yeah,
of course, it's all over the internet.
No, the best part was how his son was sitting there interviewing him, and they have a great interview, and he reaches over and he kisses his son and says, "I love you, son."
And then it pans down,
and then it just pans away, and it's his ass. Like it was great.
If you ever wanted to see a 60-year-old man's ass, now is that time.
That's what you said, Al. You want to be entertained, and that's the type of shit that's going to happen.
I don't want to see his ass. I mean, damn,
I did not think we were going to get that in the fight. I had no idea that we were going to get that.
Like, yeah,
that fight.
No thanks.
I don't think any of that was entertaining, to be honest.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you guys in the chat? What did I tell you?
You said it was going to be boring, and I did spend most of that match saying Al was right about this part of it. But I think ultimately, like the way that they wrote the script for all that to work out, oh my god, like it played out to perfection. It makes him a hero. Like they took a rapist and made him a hero. Like you could literally show all the times that he has fake shit, like between the WWF and movies and et cetera, et cetera. Mike Tyson will play a role. Like I knew it was before, but let's be real. They let it go when Jake came out to it. I Could Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, which is literally the song Mike Tyson punched Alan in fucking Hangover. Like they were literally.
It was a show.
That was a WWE event.
Well, look, if you see the first round, Mike
had way more than anything else.
Mike Tyson was actually Mike, but
he came out hard, bro.
But you saw when Jake clinched with him, said a few words to remind him, like, "Yo, nigga,
like, hey, bro,
you can't be hitting me like this."
Chill out, man. Chill out. Well, there was a couple times that, dude. I saw a couple times where Tyson came out like a fucking bull, bro. He came out hard and he came out swinging fast.
Just in the first round.
Yeah, until he realized where he was at.
Once Jake reminded him in his ear, from that point on, Mike Tyson started biting his fucking glove every time he wanted to fucking pound.
He said, hey, I'll give you an extra $200 million.
Did nothing the whole fucking.
Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Mike did that his whole career.
Yeah, he did that a lot. I remember him doing that back in the day. But I'm thinking, like,
what, the biting the gloves?
Not like this. Not
saying,
like
why
this,
are people disappointed though? Mike Tyson is a couple years from AARP membership. Like, he's old, bro. Who cares?
No, this
Jake
played
Paul, if anything, it was an indictment on Jake Paul. Like, Jake Paul, you should have killed him in there. Like, that was crazy.
Think about it, Marcus. Though, real talk. Nobody is going to think any less than they already think of Jake Paul. It does not going to change his stature. But this did make Mike look better. I'm telling you right now, better than I thought it would happen. This was an amazing script writing. Like, whoever did this, bro, whoever put this all together, bro, kudos, because they did an amazing job turning. Like, That's the most excitement that's happened in that stadium in 8 years.
That was mostly what I was saying about the script thing. Like, by reading that script, I was like, you know what? If it goes like this, that's crazy, because this actually pulls off some shit between the two of them. That would be pretty impressive to see. And then I was like, we'll see if it goes.
Same as when Mike Tyson was in the WWE. This, to me, or Donald Trump was in the WWE. This was the exact same move, exact same work.
And it just goes to show that Jake Paul can't sell a pay-per-view event.
Fuck, man.
That's why he's calling out. That's why he's calling out motherfuckers like Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure he's gonna call out Muhammad Ali next. That's why he's calling out Conor McGregor.
I seen a post talking about him kicking. I seen a post about
he'll still consider that a fucking win.
From the grave?
All right,
he'll call out all of them, but I don't know if he'll get in the ring with any of them. No, I seen a post talking about
where it's him pushing George Foreman down the stairs.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
but like he can't sell the pay-per-view. That's why he come in. I mean, look, this Netflix thing was a disaster. The whole production was a disaster. I mean,
no, but they made money.
So
I don't know. Al.
So why wasn't it the pay-per-view?
They made a lot of money. There's a lot of people that bought Netflix just for it.
Did you see how many advertisers were on those rings?
Tyson sold all that. I wouldn't go as far as to say, because if Jake Paul is fighting anybody else, you think they fill up that arena?
If Mike Tyson was fighting anybody else, would it have been the same thing? People were tuned into that because they wanted to see Mike Tyson whoop Jake Paul's ass. You needed the heel that Mike Tyson went against.
Yeah, I honestly think a lot of people went in there to see if Tyson wins, if Tyson beats them, if Tyson comes back and wins, it's a win for people like Tyson.
The Roy Jones fight was too, and look how fucking boring. Look what a disaster that. Mike Tyson will sell out because motherfuckers want to see this nigga lose his shit in the ring.
True.
Jake Paul.
Very valid.
I mean, if it's Jake Paul and Mike Perry, they don't fill that stadium.
No, but they also want to see Mike Tyson. If he does lose it, they want to see him lose it on somebody like Jake Paul.
Now, you know those guys were. Everybody knew those guys were friends going in, so we knew there was no way.
That's what I mean. Like again, the
I wasn't expecting anything great.
Is very apparent.
Did you watch the fight, Kiki?
Yeah.
What did you think?
That didn't sound very impressed.
I feel like it was rigged. After the fight, you can see Jake mouthing to Mike, "I got your money." During the fight, you can see when he's biting his glove, he says, "Get me, get me."
Mm-hmm.
Like.
That's how wrestlers do it too.
Yeah. They get in the clutch and they start talking to each other.
Just the fucking worst. Like I wasted, that's just time I can't get back. I watched it because I knew we had to talk about it, but that's just time I can't get back. I mean, like
you didn't enjoy the pageantry at all. You didn't like watching Mike do all that.
The whole.
He doesn't like wrestling. Remember?
Yeah, the whole production was terrible.
Not about that.
To hear, okay, you have guys like Roy Jones Jr. and Andre Ward, who were both professional boxers who know what the fuck they're talking about. They actually sounded stupid because of the people they were sitting next to. Like none of this, like the whole production was just fucking terrible. Like, look, I'm a big fan of Rosie Perez, but look, a lot of us think we know shit about boxing, about fighting, but I mean, commentating is a whole different beast.
She's from 3 buildings down from Tyson. That was the whole reason she was there. That's her people's.
Billy, you're so stupid.
So, which
makes
the production terrible. All that money, like, look, Jake Paul got 40 million, Mike Tyson got 20. You couldn't have put some of that towards the production? Some of the hoes that were in the ring, I mean, some of those.
What do you mean?
Like some of those hoes look like dudes.
Buy up a little bit, maybe.
You mean to tell me that they weren't like natural beauties out there? You had to get dudes with titties in the ring? I mean, this whole production was just terrible. And again, I can't get that time back. I'll never get that time back.
That's funny because Netflix usually goes in on the cinematography and the quality of their production. It's unfortunate.
Not this time. They certainly went into flashing a whole bunch of ugly ass motherfuckers on camera. And some of the jokes that were being like,
Bro,
Well,
you know
let's
what?
throw some of that.
You know what? You're right, Rick. You're right, Rick. It reminded me of the WWE. It was fucking terrible. Just terrible.
Zing.
Like, I mean, I've watched 2.5 minute porno scenes that went better than that.
You felt like you just bought a WWE pay-per-view? You bought SummerSlam?
Like, fuck.
Bro, I want to be honest, though. I mean, like, it's been like that since they started doing these crazy exhibition matches. I felt the same thing for Connor and Floyd.
So Buffalo just beat Kansas City.
Wow.
Well, bro.
Yeah, my fault, y'all. My internet connection must be like terrible.
Welcome back.
Because I haven't seen or heard y'all in like 5 minutes.
Well, I don't know if you're the real Marcus, man. You might be a clone. You might be a clone, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I might be. I wouldn't know.
They brought him back.
I don't know. I think it's me. I hope it's me.
I
I'm
think
gonna try to do it.
you would, if you were a clone, you wouldn't know, Marcus. You wouldn't know. You would think he was
I
here.
wouldn't know. I think it's me. I think it's the real me. But
the best way for us to tell is we
You've
need
been
to look
programmed,
under
yes,
your
sir.
eyelid. We need to look under your eyelid. Pull your eyelid down. Let me see.
Under your eyelid.
I'll do it. I will do it. 'Cause I'm a real one.
Are you an iRobot?
Real one. It says I'm a real one.
I'm a real one.
Miami is still number one. Only undefeated.
Says I'm a real one.
Enough with the before we move on, the fight that I was actually really wanting to talk about, which was highway fucking robbery, was the Serrano and Taylor fight. That fight.
Oh, girl with the headbutts, man.
Dude. And for people to defend her and say, she was leading with her head, and when you she was literally ramming her head into this girl's face.
It's not a good idea.
Do we have a picture of this girl's eye? Look at this girl's eye.
She had it already. Oh,
wow.
Damn.
Okay.
Now, she was on her Holyfield, bro.
Now, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Serrano did land more punches. Okay.
Oh,
the judging did come across. The judging did come across a little funny, but the part that kind of I guess I'm going to advocate on is number one. That's boxing, and they all do it. I literally watched 30 different fucking videos today of boxers. When they're shorter, they lead with their head. That's what they fucking do. The headbutts that occurred in the beginning, they were both doing. Serrano stopped headbutting when she got her eye busted open. After that point, Taylor really wasn't headbutting. She was grinding her fucking head into the cut. I give you that 100%.
If you go into it, because one of them's orthodox and the other one's southpaw, every now and again when you step in, there's going to be collisions.
Coming like that.
So in Serrano's case, when she was coming in, because I was going to also go into that too, like with some of the punches she was taking, this girl was never moving her head. As many punches as she was landing, she was never moving her head.
That's how I felt about Serrano, though, Al. Like, she wasn't moving Taylor, bro. Like, her hits, she was hitting a lot, but she wasn't feeling that shit.
But Taylor coming in, and Taylor wasn't too much shorter than her. If you go back to Taylor, there are 4 chicks that Taylor has fought that ended up the same way Serrano did, whether it's their eyebrow or their head, because this bitch can do nothing else but
Serrano Holyfield, bro.
So, to the defense of the outcome of the fight, though, to the defense of the outcome of the fight, it was too close. It was too close that you called. That's a tie.
There was nothing close. There was nothing close about that fight.
Serrano had more hits, but Taylor's hits were harder. Bottom line.
Serrano whooped her ass.
Maybe
Taylor.
That's the point, though. Like it would if it's not a clear, they're gonna always give the decision to the champion. That's the whole point. Like you got to really beat the champ.
2 rounds. Taylor might have won 2 rounds. Outside of that, she got her ass whooped. The judges, I don't know what the fuck they were seeing there.
I don't know. She never rattled her or knocked her down, though.
Oh, she stunned her in the fucking first round, dude.
Like, I can smack you a bunch, but that don't mean shit. You know what I mean?
In the first round, she buckled her. And from that point on, that's when she turned the battering ram on and said, I'm gonna headbutt this bitch because I can't beat this bitch, so I need to headbutt her.
And again, I think Serrano won the fight, but I am going to play devil's advocate in this. I don't hate on what Taylor did. She was a boxer in that fight. She was doing what she was supposed to do.
Taylor was a dirty ass bitch.
They're all dirty. She wasn't doing anything illegal. Now, is it one of those things where it's like an unwritten rule?
Leading with your head like that, using it as a battering ram like that is not Taylor.
No, pushing your head into them is not. Leading with your head is not headbutting. And again, the headbutts that happened in the beginning, they were mutual
and headbutting. I urge everybody to go watch this again. She was leading. Not only was she leading with her head, but she was fucking hitting her with her head. That cut on her eye doesn't come from an act. No, that was no fucking accident.
No, the cut happened with the headbutt, but then she was grinding her fucking head into her, bro. I was like, go, girl, go. She was grinding into that shit.
Y'all know the old saying, bro, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, man. Go for it. But they gonna let you.
I've seen motherfuckers do that though too, because I mean that does that pressure, and it doesn't look like you're trying to, but where you just kind of grind into them, and it's nasty, but it hurts.
But that's not illegal where headbutting is. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of the argument, is that she didn't continuously keep headbutting her, but she was grinding the fuck out of that cut with her head, leading with her head. Like, it's dirty, but it's not illegal.
Filthy bitch. Her face looked.
That's my island, and we denounce her.
Her face looked the fucking part too. Her face looked the fucking part.
Dirty bitch.
Well, so next, let's move on from this terrible production. So next segment, we were going to jump right into. So how would you word this, Marcus? Red flags, green flags.
Yeah, relationship flags.
So how do you want to start that off? We'll get Kiki's
I'll ask Kiki first. Like, what do you consider red flags, green flags in a relationship?
If he starts acting some type of way, if you want to go out with your friends. That's weird.
That's a good one. I like that.
Do you consider that jealousy, possessiveness, or
insecurity?
Oh, that's very much so. Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, I see that.
What else would raise a red flag?
Me so?
I got a list.
What's a green flag, Kiki? What's a green flag?
A green flag?
Trustworthiness.
Deal unbreaker.
Without you asking. I like that. Or like if you get something, like if you get me something when you're out, just thinking about me. Or like if we go to the gas station and I like Skittles, you bring me out a bag. Like, I like that. That's a green flag. Because you pay attention.
Being considerate. But yeah, I got a list of different ones. We can talk about them.
What's a red flag, Marcus?
Since they're the negatives. All right. People that are unwilling to accept feedback, apologize, or self-examine themselves. Like, if you know that you're a piece of shit, but if you know you're
well, stubborn motherfuckers, motherfuckers that are just like, well, that's just the way I am. That's just the way shit is. Like, that's never the way shit happens.
Acknowledging growth, like one of the biggest things that you can do. Shit, acknowledge when you.
I seen something the other day. I seen a post that said a sign, and I'm not saying that I agree with this fully, but maybe I can get y'all's take on it. It said the mark of intelligence is how much you're able to change and take on change. What do you think?
It's also the mark of growth as well.
I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. I thought that I was like, wow, I never really thought about it like that. But yeah, the ability to change. I will say that, And I mean, a lot of it's wisdom. Over the years, I've definitely changed. I mean, kind of what Kiki said, as far as like the beginning of the relationship and expecting too much and like, oh, well, where are you? Blah, blah, blah. I've been that guy. I've been that guy in my younger days. But as you get older, you realize that that's no way to have a relationship. There's no trust there for sure. But then you're just like, well, why am I even asking? Because it's not, she's still a person. Like at the end of the day, and I had this thing where I've told a couple of y'all, like relationships are inherently possessive. People immediately start saying my girlfriend, my boyfriend. It's like, they're not your anything before they're just them. They're still a person. So that's something I've learned over time. It's like, let them be them. And if they're going to be the right person, their being them will just go inside of you. Like you shouldn't have to check them at every corner. That's crazy.
What else you got, Mark?
Sure. This one made me laugh. I didn't like talk about it, but love bombing. You know, where you're like, I don't know, like maybe like initially when a relationship starts and like all your feelings are like really intense and you're just like pushing it onto someone else. Like that could be a bit much, you know.
That pushes me away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people away.
This is weird.
That'll make you, you'd be like, hey, relax. I like you too, but calm down. I think that's serious shit. Bad mouthing exes, that's another one. But if you always have something bad to say about others, it's like, like that could have been on
Well,
you.
bringing up exes, hey, just try not to do that. But then, being negative, it's when you're interviewing for a job and you start talking shit about the last employer. You don't do that. It's not wise.
And this one, these next two kind of like spoke to me though. Like feeling like you can't necessarily be your true self around the person. Like you have to like kind of walk on eggshells with them, or like you're thinking about how they're going to react to things you say and do. Like those
only gonna get worse.
Definitely red flags.
Gotta water down your.
That just gets worse.
Yeah. You feel like you have to like alter who you are so that they'll be okay. Like that's not cool for anybody. You know, it's not good for the person. It's not good for you.
I will say one thing about that. If somebody is urging you to do better for yourself, like if you want to be a better person, you should only do it for yourself. But if you're seeing that change transpire within you because of that person and you value that person, that's kind of something to explore.
That's true. Yeah. If you're noticing the growth in yourself and maybe it is because of them, like that's not necessarily that could be a green flag, because it's like, hey, you care about them enough to want to improve who you are. So I can rock with that.
It's like what you were saying earlier, like they realize you're like, oh, I've been a piece of shit and they're showing me that.
Yeah, exactly. I say with the green flags, I guess it's honestly that's the opposite of everything we've said about red flags.
If you're not, though.
That's obvious, but what's a green flag that's not associated? Like, not the opposite of.
I would say one that we haven't discussed is boundaries, like respecting your person's boundaries and like respecting that they are an individual outside of our relationship. I'm still a person and I have to like be a person.
So let me pose this question. Is choking someone overstepping boundaries?
It depends on the context. If they ask to be choked, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm just asking for a friend.
I'm saying if people like what they like.
For a friend.
Some people like to get choked out. So hey man, that's what you're into. You know?
Now, for you, like,
and this one, I'm sorry, Al. Like this one goes to what Sean was just saying about like growth, like supporting and encouraging your person's like goals, their dreams, their aspirations, like just being like a real partner to them. It's like, hey, your goal might sound crazy, but I'm gonna rock with you. You know, I'm gonna give you every bit of like encouragement I can, even if I think, and you know, in the small part of my mind, like, I don't think that's gonna work.
I mean, it's crazy.
That's crazy. Like, you're never gonna do that. Like I wouldn't say that though, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was those other ones that I was thinking of, but I'm gonna chill on that because
You're gonna chill on that for what? I
I'm gonna hold
mean,
that back.
I
you
don't
ain't
know.
you ain't gonna bring some shit up and then not fucking talk about it. I
He
mean,
said somebody's gonna know I'm talking about them, and I don't want to be in the doghouse.
you know, somebody if someone needs to get the message this way, they need to get the message
That's
this way,
it.
bro.
Is
Okay. Okay. The reason that this came to my mind, and like I
yeah.
said, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. It's like we can be real. You know, it's the blunt lab. That's what we
That's
do
what we're
here.
here
We're
for.
real.
I mean, we do try to be blunt.
How do y'all feel about this? Let's
I like
say
the way
that like
it's produced.
your person gets. You know what? I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. Your person gets a pet that you are not deathly allergic to, but like clearly
Bro.
this
Bro.
is
Are we talking cat or dog here?
It's gotta be a cat. It's gotta be a cat.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a cat.
Yeah.
No,
If you
absolutely. I did
know
do this.
that
I
I
did do
can't
this.
fucking breathe, and you
I'll
get
give
a
you
cat
personal, yeah.
anyway,
One at a time.
That feels like a shot though, right? Like I don't know. I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to make it a thing, but like come on. You know?
the
Like,
backstory
I mean,
that's necessary here. The backstory that's necessary here is if your partner is number one, is it your house, her house, y'all's house? That's a factor. And two, does the partner really know that it affects you physically versus I just don't like cats. You know what I
Sounds
mean?
like
Because
it.
there is a difference. Because if you're like, well, you
That's
know
true.
what, I don't like cats, but you really like cats, it goes back to that whole like, you know what? Since you like cats, I may not like fucking like the motherfucker, but he can Garfield over there. I don't really care because I love you. But if you can't fucking breathe, and they know that,
No, I'm a voice. Oh, go ahead. I was going to voice my opinion because that actually happened when I was just out of high school. I was dating a girl that we stayed together, and she didn't want a dog. She wanted to get a cat. So I took her down to I had never had a cat before. I know that I'm allergic to them, but I didn't know the degree because I never had lived with one in a long time. So I took her down to the vet. We adopted a cat, and immediately I started having, just runny nose. Couldn't touch it. Like I'd have to wash my hands, and that's fine. I can deal with that. But every fucking morning, she would get up and get ready, and the cat, while I was sleeping, would come over and attack my fucking feet and start like fucking with my feet and like with their claws and shit and wake me up. And I was like, okay, look, you got to do something with the cat. Like I got you a cat. Fucking watch the cat because I'm trying to sleep and shit. And she's like, no, she refused to. So I would put the cat out in the garage all day and tell it to catch mice and earn its keep. And she didn't like that. She didn't like that. Said the cat doesn't need to live in the garage. I was like, well, then it's gone. So I ended up getting rid of the cat, and we were the same afterwards. But I was like, yeah, it definitely seemed like she's like, well, fuck you. I'm gonna have this cat more than you.
Woman, whoa, man, whoa, man.
She can have that
She
cat.
was a thief. You've got to believe she stole my heart and my cat.
She stole my heart with that cat.
Yeah.
But on that same point, cats suck. Shouldn't have to deal with that.
I like animals to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But as far as cats are concerned, like, I've had a similar situation as to where I moved in with a chick who had cats. That triggered my asthma. I hadn't had an issue with asthma up until I moved in with this chick with the cats. Now the cats were pretty old, so I was just kind of biting my time, waiting for them to die. We've had discussions. We had discussions that once the cats die, we're not going to get new ones. But once these old motherfuckers died, there was only two at first. They died
first.
Within a month. We had 5 cats up in the house. So at that point, you kind of know where things are at with me health-wise with these motherfuckers, and that means you wanted me to go. You got
takes a lot longer
so
for 5 to die.
go. You know what I mean? You don't. If you're incapable of saying the words, your actions can speak louder than those words. So you're basically asking me to go once you did that. So that's how I feel about that.
No, yeah. If it's that serious, you've made it apparent.
Yeah, I mean, there's one of two ways. You can either up and leave, or I've heard antifreeze is a good way to help the cat. But you
That's
didn't
what I'm
hear
saying. I
that
tried
from
to
me.
tell her. I was like, there's worse things that could happen to the cat. But
No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Oh yeah, we love animals on this podcast, especially me. Especially me.
that being said, if I do have my own cat, I
Kiki,
like
I don't know
cats.
if
I
I
do like
appreciate that
cats.
smirk. I don't know if I appreciate that smirk, Kiki, because you're making me look like a monster without even saying anything.
She making me look like a monster.
It's just,
First, people were asking me, like, "Yo, you ain't never really choked that girl when she was little, right?" I'm like, "Why would you even ask me that? I mean, I would never choke anybody. I might threaten to."
I
No,
mean,
you would
you
choke.
are a person that
Again,
like
I've choked somebody
advocates for
before.
the
I'm not
choking.
gonna say I ain't choked somebody before.
There's certain
Like you're a
people that deserve to
choking
be choked.
advocate.
I
No,
am.
I feel you. I mean, some people
Hey,
do
we
need to
love
get
you
Love
too,
you
choked.
too,
man. We
Matt.
miss you.
We love you too, buddy.
Love you, Matt.
Hey,
We miss you, dog.
love you, brother.
And yeah, praise for Gabe too, because he's back in the hospital. So shout out to
Yeah.
Gabe as well.
I was just
Oh
talking with him
man.
yesterday morning. He's in the hospital.
Yeah, he's in the
Okay.
hospital. Yeah,
Well, we hope you feel better, Gabe.
yeah, we do
Miss you,
too.
dog.
Apparently, he lost his soul at a Diddy party, and he's getting
No,
treatment.
yikes.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We love you, Gabe.
Hey,
So on the note of
hey,
dark
yo.
shit, let's talk about the fucking penguin, y'all.
Oh
Hold on.
yes,
Well, hold on. Hold
yes,
on. Go ahead.
yes,
Go ahead. Fuck it.
yes.
Yes, fuck
Let me
it.
tell you, if you guys aren't watching The Penguin, it's on Max. Granted,
You're
I usually
stupid.
wait till the end of this discussion to give my review. The Penguin gets 5 out of 5 blunts from me.
Mhm. Yep,
From episode
I agree.
1 all the way down to the fucking
That's high
season.
praise.
Most shows disappoint when it comes to a season finale. This
Sure.
show did not.
Did not.
In no way, shape, or form. Like, dude, the reveal of like the mom knowing the whole fucking time.
Hmm.
That didn't shock me too much, though.
It wasn't too, but like the fact that because that's I wanted to go like, would you raise your kid knowing that he killed?
What?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course you would. That's what adds to like the whole point of the penguin. This is why, and all of obviously this is the best thing that DC has made since any of us have been alive, for one.
Yeah.
But let's just
I
keep
mean,
it real.
Yeah.
In all
a
of
low bar.
origin stories, period, this is one of the better origin stories I've seen in general. Just because of the way, and like, it's going to be spoilers all the way throughout. That's not the part that shocked me. When you get to what happened with Vic, that's the part that really shocked me and really put it over the edge to put him back at heel to end the series.
Pimpin'.
Hmm.
That didn't shock
That
me
broke
at
my
all
heart.
because it broke. Not only did it break my heart, but
Yeah.
I told you guys Vic had to be the Glenn of this show.
Yes.
And I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that they waited till the season finale because you needed. It's just like, dude, the way he
The
did.
way.
I mean, it lets
It
you
was
know.
so
I mean,
upsetting.
look how
Man.
he did his brothers.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
He didn't
Like,
want Vic. He already started to feel the love for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he
felt
told
like it
him
was
from
gonna
Jump
be a
Street.
crutch.
He told him from Jump Street, like, okay, like it reminds me of some other shit. I won't name the movies and whatnot, but there's kind of an expression out there. Okay, I'm gonna keep you around till tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he shed a tear for him, it was over.
Like Vic straight up
Heartbreaking,
told him,
man.
like, "You're my family."
Yeah,
I think that was the catalyst right there. Him
correct.
saying it. I think that's what it was like. All right, I gotta. Because I guess I was just looking at it like it's a crutch to have someone you care about being close to you.
Oh, 100%. It's a weakness.
That's a weakness. But it's like, oh man, Vic was so solid, bro. Like everything Vic did was
Yeah.
like in service of this cat.
And then throw in the whole scenario of his family being gone and how he felt about Crown Point and just the whole, all of it. Like, dude, like that's what I'm getting at. Like, just the tremendous storyline to it. Doesn't even matter if you know or like we all just said, we knew it was coming. Yeah, sure. We didn't know the when, but it just there is an ambience or an art to this show that just we have lost over years now.
Okay.
So, Kiki, have you watched the Batman? with Robert Pattinson?
Mm-mm.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
It's like 3 hours long. Before me about
It
it.
is.
3.5
Yeah,
hours long.
it's
Sean and
long.
I sat in the theater and
Yeah.
we both were like, fuck this movie.
Pack a
at the end of it.
lunch. Pack a lunch
So-
and a pillow.
I haven't watched it in a while, so I have a couple of questions because of how this season finale ended. Again, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
That Twilight age group likes it though, Al. Just disclaimer before you go on. Their age group likes that look and feel.
So
I get it.
Is there any way that is she
I
referred to
enjoyed
as
it,
Selena
dude.
Kyle? Is Catwoman referred to as Selena Kyle?
Yeah.
That's Selena.
Yeah, she's Selena.
Kyle.
Okay.
That's Catwoman.
They're sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, they're sisters. Half
She
sisters.
will be.
So,
Yeah.
so there's a possibility that the Italian had sex with a black chick, producing Selena Kyle.
Black chick. No, it would have
Because
been a black.
Selena
Yeah,
is black.
Selena. But Selena's mom is like. I mean, in the comic,
Listen.
I think she's,
Listen. I don't want to get political, but girl on girl stuff doesn't create babies. Oh.
Yeah, you can't say that. It's 2025.
Yeah, but I
It
think,
requires
'cause you remember
semen.
How dare you, sir?
in the Batman, like when she was talking to Falcone or whatever it was, and she was saying like her mom worked at the club that he owned.
Correct.
And, like he knew the whole time that was his daughter. So like, yeah, I'm assuming
Falcone
she's
was definitely
black
hitting
or Hispanic.
sisters, if that's what you're asking. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Her dad was hitting black girls.
I felt so dumb watching it. I was like, why didn't I pick that up earlier? Like that they're sisters. Like,
She
that was
acts
obvious.
like
Like,
her
the whole
too. Like
time.
she even like they even casted her very well. And they got away from making it about her in those last 2 episodes, which I'm kind of glad. But I digress. Yes, she has that same sort of mentality and attitude as Selena, as Catwoman. So I buy the buildup. I saw it coming. I thought she was going to wind up being Catwoman or some shit is what I thought was going to happen. And then I was like, oh yeah. And they kind of made that revolve, that revolution.
I did like seeing the bat symbol at the last second of the episode. You see the bat symbol.
You know they gotta tie it in.
So,
they were like 90% done with filming and like 40% done with editing and production, and they went and changed the whole fucking thing because of the reach that Penguin has made. I'm sorry, I'm referencing the Batman Part 2. So they went and sort of they extended the cut and sort of changed some of the plot line and storyline from what I've read to incorporate this more. And we should expect at least 2 more seasons. They haven't announced it yet, but Netflix signed him for 2 more seasons of Penguin. Now, where it's going to fall in line in the storyline remains to be seen. Like where the writing's going to come from. And they know what's about to happen. They're about to go to about 8 different fucking award ceremonies in the beginning of the year. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll put a fucking Hard Rock fucking DraftKings fucking bet on it right now that they probably take 16 to 21 awards from January to April at award shows next year.
And it would be well deserved.
And deserved.
That's great.
What was your favorite part of the season finale, Kiki?
I wouldn't say I had a favorite. I said I was just shocked a lot.
Did you cry when Vic died?
Almost. I had so many thoughts when I was like, why? I didn't think that he was going to be the one to do it. And then he robbed him after, looked at his ID, flicked it. No type of like, and then like another thing, like with his mom, does he care about his mom to a certain extent? Because he was literally about to let her finger over a lie.
He more than cares about his mom. He is in love with his mother.
Yeah,
his feelings for his mother is disgusting.
And if it makes you feel any better, Kiki, I think that not only in the follow-up in the next season, but also just in a general sense, I think that whole Rob point was more because of what he's going to use that for. I think ultimately what we're going to see is him killing Vic is something that he's going to use as a plot line. Maybe it makes him look like he's gone or disappeared, or he uses it as a reason to avenge kind of thing. Like, it's going to get played into the storyline for sure. That's why he made it look like it was a robbery or a kill.
I will say this about that scene, though. I respect Oz's choke game to the max, boy. Because he choked the shit out of that nigga, boy. And I mean,
he barely had a hold of him. That
barely
coat was in the way. I was
My
like, this
man's
is
just- I
terrible.
was like, damn, dog.
But sometimes you gotta choke somebody.
You
Also,
know
I
the
think
best part to me?
mom,
Oh no,
Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch.
Go ahead, Kiki.
at the end with his mom, and they're in the thing with the view, and she's
Mhm.
crying.
Mm-hmm.
This man is so delusional. He's like, just like he wanted it. Like, no, she's literally paralyzed, frozen, in prison.
And
Body.
I think she was crying in pride, though.
What?
I think she wanted that. Like, no,
She
for
didn't
real.
In
Like,
that state, she told him to kill her if she ever got to where her body shut or her mind went, something like that. Whatever she
like
said.
her body,
That's
her mind went
possible.
before her body.
But I
dude,
think, but you got to think though, she was very well invested in him making it big, and a lot of that sort of psycho motivation, that sort of like what do you call it? Like, long story short, she used a lot of things as motivation to him. Like, I think ultimately what happens is because of what he did to his brothers, et cetera, and her knowing about it and so on, it was like, okay, well, you put yourself in this position, now you got to take care of me. And she spent all these years telling him, you ain't done it, you ain't done it, you ain't done it. And now he did it. And that's how the episode sort of ends, the series sort of ends, the season sort of ends, is him putting his mother exactly where he promised he would. And she's crying in pride. I could be wrong.
She's literally like she's stuck like that.
and
Not gonna come out.
in a moment of clarity, she told him, "I hate you.
And she stopped it.
I have always hated you."
Yes.
Yeah.
But she knows she's dependent upon him. Do you understand? That's
those
the point
tears.
make.
Those tears are tears of misery.
Literally, she's stuck now forever. Well, until she dies.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that he's not going to be able to get that. I'm proud of you, that I love you, all that nonsense that he was wanting so bad from her. I love that he's not going to be able to get that now. And it's so weird that he was using old girl as like
it looks so much like
for
mom too.
That was his mom's dress.
Looked like her.
That was
the
his
dress,
mom's
the hair,
the things she was saying to him. I was like,
and I feel like
this is
not
weird,
the first
man.
time they role played like that.
It's just disgusting.
Mommy issues to the max.
Yeah.
To the max.
Yep.
That's when I realized that he wanted to be her man for real.
But that was just. But again, that is the Penguin on Max. Go around the board. Have you watched it, Sean? Have you gotten a chance to watch it?
No, I've been working too much, and I meant to catch up on it. Like, I got home today at like 4, and I meant to at least watch the finale because I knew we were talking about the finale. But I ended up passing out. Like, I wake up I'm not a morning person. I wake up at like 4 now, so it's been weird. It's been weird. But no. So you guys are saying now that I know everything, it's not really worth going back and watching.
No,
it's worth going back and watching.
No, I'm definitely going to watch it.
The spoils, it's not, again, I go back to this and I tell this to people all the time. This is not one of those, you're not going to sit there wondering, like, it's not one of those whodunit mystery type of things. This is
I know. It's about the actual acting of it. And no, I'm totally cool with it. I'm going to watch it regardless.
It's one of the best presentations of any villain in any superhero.
Listen, I give DC a lot of shit, but it's only because they haven't come out with anything good. I am a comic book fan at the end of the day, and if they do it well, I'll watch the hell out of it. Not only that, but Colin Farrell, I've mentioned it before, he's a hell of an actor. So, and it's easy to forget that it's him when you're watching Penguin.
Third gen cousin, much love to the fam. Shout out to the island, my island. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch.
He does well. The actress that played his mom is awesome. Sophia is great. Vic, rest in peace, was great.
Y'all don't know this too. I don't know if you guys know this, but just to throw this in there, Theo Rossi, otherwise known as Juice in Sons of Anarchy, otherwise known as her therapist in the movie here, in the show here. It looks like they're cutting him out to be a version of Scarecrow.
Yeah, I've just seen that
That's where I
too.
would go.
Their style as their villains. They're bringing in, from what I understand, Batman 2 is going to feature the one that they had in Gotham. This guy, I forget his name, Keoghan, Barry Keoghan's Joker.
Mm.
Yeah,
The
they
one that was
showed him
in
in
Gotham,
they
the
showed him in
redheaded guy.
Arkham at the end of the Batman. But
Yeah,
also
he was
too,
at the end of the Batman.
this guy being the Riddler, the little redhead kid, fucking it kills everybody all the time.
That kills everybody all the time.
But yeah, they're introducing the Scarecrow character kind of like a I don't know. I guess you could call it like Joker. You know how Joker kind of has his Harley Quinn. I think Scarecrow is gonna wind up being like a Harley Quinn, but like a male version.
Weird.
So look out for that. That's
interesting. I mean, Scarecrow usually is a therapist or something like that. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's 100% set up.
And with the way they introduced Bliss too, they can come out with a new version of that. Nope. Yeah, I can see where that's going.
See what I'm saying?
I can see where
right? Like that's just me thinking out of the box.
Well, yeah, they're making kind of their own take on all the characters. Like the Riddler was well done. Like just the difference in, I mean, some of the stuff he did was stupid, but the character was well done, and the difference in the old version versus this new version was really cool.
It's not Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. So let's wrap it up. So what do you give it?
Oh, I give Penguin five blunts all day long. I would tell everyone to watch it. I would say you're missing out if you're not watching this.
That's perfect TV. It's high praise.
5.
Marcus?
5. It's awesome. It's dope.
And Sean, I know you haven't seen it all, but
I'm gonna give it 5, and if it isn't that, I'm gonna retroactively take one away later. But I think it's I have faith.
Hey, I hope season 2. I hope he gets his comeuppance, man.
Is that why Donald Trump is president right now?
I don't think he will. It's too soon. They're gonna stress that out.
No, Batman's gonna show up. He gonna come because he was in the Batman. Like he had a role in it. I think Batman's gonna show up and rock his shit. Like that's what I think needs to happen. Not kill him. He ain't ever gonna kill him because he's gonna use him. But nah, Penguin needs a good old fashioned ass.
Batman always uses Penguin.
That's what I'm saying. Batman's gonna put him in check.
Batman doesn't usually like he's not usually going after Penguin to lock him up like he is with Joker and some of the other ones.
He's an informant.
Penguin's dirty man.
Yeah. Pretty much. So yeah, certainly check that out. That is the Penguin. That is the Penguin on Max. We want to thank you guys for joining this live session. Signing off, I am Al, joined by Kiki, Marcus, Sean, and Rick. Peace.
Doctor.